What is the fundamental argument for allowing abortion? Why are we against legislation about something that really should be decided by the person, the woman that is pregnant? Those that are in favor of abortion argue that it is the woman's body, and only she should be the one to decide what to do with that body. Therefore, if you decide to end that pregnancy, you should have the power to do so, because it's your body. Well, the argument is solid and difficult to refute, apparently. What about the baby that is born? Is it still part of the mother's body? I believe that this was the prevailing opinion many, many centuries ago, when human beings were willing to sacrifice their children to a deity. That was because they proudly considered the babies to belong to them. We talk about my child. My implies belonging, because they had been a part of them at some point. And the father and the mother had the power to dispose of their child because it was theirs. It had been part of their body. For instance, if for some reason it is necessary to remove an organ from a person, such as a kidney, once the kidney is taken out, who owns that kidney? We all agree that it belongs to the person from whose body it was removed. I remember a member of my family needed a liver transplant, and the person was already in the operating room and being administered some kind of medicine to put her to sleep, when suddenly the surgeon said, the family of the person that just died in an accident decided not to donate the liver. And I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to do the liver transplant. Obviously, that liver belongs to them. Well, in the same way, the baby that is born must belong to the person who produced it, from whose womb it was produced. But that's not what we think today. We think that a newborn baby acquires individuality, its own personality, and no one can decide about its life. On the contrary, we have the moral and legal duty to take care of this baby and give it the opportunity to develop. A parent can go to jail if they don't take care of their newly born baby. The legal duty, because the law of every civilized city every civilized country recognizes the individuality and rights of each newborn. Now the question is, if this baby born already has personality, what about the fetus that has a heartbeat of its own? Does it have right as an individual? Because in weeks or months, this fetus will become a baby in most cases. And with the cutting of the umbilical cord will no longer depend for the mother for its sustenance. The fetus is actually the product of the sexual encounter between man and woman. Should only the woman have the right to decide the future of this fetus? Since it is the product of the sexual encounter of two, maybe both of them should be involved. Well, it is obvious we are facing a very complex situation that is not easy to resolve. We note, for instance, that in many countries in Europe, there's a tremendous problem. Their steadily declining population. I think it requires something like 2.1 children per family to maintain the same number of inhabitants. And the reality is that in many of these countries, there are fewer than 1.5 children per family. Some have 1.2. And any easy access to abortion feeds that reality. These countries use immigration to fill the decline in population, which in turn threatens the nature, the characteristics of their own civilization. I repeat, we are obviously facing a very complex situation, which will continue to be the subject of controversy and dispute, I think, for many, many years to come. Because basically, We are talking about the future of life itself, of humanity, and we are somehow manipulating laws of nature that have many reasons that we have yet to discover for their existence. So I think we should go with trepidation. I think we should go with small steps in the case of abortion. It is a very difficult issue. It has moral, it has spiritual implications, and it is a very divisive situation, problem in society. I think that caution, small steps are what is indicated in this case.